Welcome to the Rulebook Tavern Chronicles, where we are talking about role-playing games. Today, we will be taking a deep dive into the Pathfinder 2E Ranger class.
Your guide to mastering the wilds.
We've got a stack of listener notes and some forum discussions about how to really make this class shine.
Yeah, it's a popular one.
So you're thinking about playing a ranger.
Yeah.
What's the appeal for you?
Honestly, what's fascinating about the ranger is how it goes beyond that typical archer hiding in the trees, you know?
Right.
It's about truly connecting with an environment and the creatures in it. It offers a unique blend of martial prowess, spell casting, and wilderness expertise that can make you a formidable force both in and out of combat.
Okay, let's unpack this for our listener. How would you describe the ranger to someone completely new to Pathfinder 2E?
Imagine a character who's equally at home tracking a monstrous foe through a dense forest as they are navigating the social complexities of a bustling city. That's the essence of the ranger. Versatility and mastery.
So not just a nature lover with a bow, then?
Definitely not. They are skilled hunters, trackers, and masters of specific terrains.
Okay.
Their abilities allow them to excel at exploration, survival, and combat that is tailored to their favorite environment and chosen prey.
Now, you mentioned favorite enemy, and that's what always jumps out at me.
Yeah.
It seems like it could be super powerful or a bit of a trap if you choose wrong. Let's dig into the pros and cons of the Ranger class for our listener,
Okay.
starting with the upsides.
You're right to focus on the hunt-prey feature. It's a defining aspect of the class. It lets you study your target, gaining insight into their weaknesses.
Right.
This translates into bonuses to your attack and damage rolls, giving you a significant tactical advantage. The hunt-prey bonuses actually increase as you level up.
Oh, wow.
So at higher levels, you're looking at a +1 circumstance bonus to attack rolls and a +2 circumstance bonus to damage rolls, just to start.
That sounds particularly useful against those tough enemies with high armor class or tons of hit points, right? Those encounters where every hit needs to count.
Absolutely. Hunt-prey can be the difference between a grueling slugfest and a decisive victory, especially when facing creatures that are typically difficult to hit or withstand a lot of damage.
Okay, I see how hunt-prey alone makes the ranger stand out.
It's powerful.
What else makes them strong?
Their adaptability. With the favored terrain feature, rangers gain benefits tailored to specific environments.
Okay.
Whether it's a dense forest, scorching desert, or even an urban jungle.
Right.
These benefits can range from enhanced movement to bonuses on skill checks, allowing them to excel in their chosen environment.
So think of it as being able to turn the environment itself into a weapon.
Yeah.
Using its features to your advantage.
Absolutely.
So you're saying a ranger could be just as effective at navigating the rooftops of a city as they are stalking prey in the wilderness.
Precisely.
Yeah.
And let's not forget their flexibility in terms of combat style and spell casting.
Yeah.
They can specialize in archery, to weapon fighting, or even go for a more spell-focused approach, using spells to augment their attacks and control the battlefield. Want to be a master archer raining down arrows? Go for it.
Yeah.
Prefer to be a nimble skirmisher, weaving in and out of combat, spells enhancing each strike? That's on the table too.
That's a lot of options.
It is.
And we can't forget that classic ranger image.
Oh, yeah.
The hero with their loyal animal companion.
Of course.
How does that work in Pathfinder 2E?
It's not just a flavorful addition.
Right.
A well-trained animal companion can be a game changer. They're powerful allies in combat, able to flank enemies, provide support, and even take on foes directly. As they level up, they can gain specializations like Savage, which increases their damage output, turning them into a whirlwind of fangs and claws, or Specialized, which gives them unique abilities tailored to their type.
Okay, color me intrigued. But every class has downsides.
Yeah.
What are the pitfalls a potential ranger player should watch out for?
Like any specialized class, a ranger might feel overshadowed in specific roles.
Yeah, that makes sense.
For example, a heavily armored fighter will likely outdamage you in a straight fight, and you won't have the sheer spell variety of a wizard.
Okay.
You also need to choose your hunt prey and favored terrain carefully to maximize your abilities.
Right.
Picking a creature type you rarely encounter,
Yeah.
or a terrain that doesn't feature in your campaign will limit your effectiveness.
So it's a matter of planning ahead and understanding your campaign setting, making sure your ranger's choices align with the challenges you're likely to face.
Definitely.
Makes sense. But that specialization also means if you do choose well,
Yes.
Your ranger's going to shine in those moments where other classes might struggle.
Exactly. And the flexibility of the class means you can tailor your ranger to excel in those specific situations, becoming a crucial asset to your party.
All right, let's say our listener IS sold on the ranger.
Okay.
What are the key decisions they'll need to make when building their character?
Well, it all starts with ancestry, right?
Yeah.
This choice will affect your character's stats and abilities, shaping their strengths and weaknesses.
So are there any ancestries that naturally lend themselves to the ranger playstyle? Ones that our listeners should consider?
While you can technically make any ancestry work,
Yeah.
some have better synergy with the ranger class.
Okay.
For example, the dragon blood heritage is a great choice if you want a more primal, powerful feel.
Oh, dragons.
Imagine facing down a fearsome beast.
Right.
Your dragon blood heritage granting you resistance to fear, keeping you steady while your allies waver.
Yeah.
In that same fight, you might even unleash a breath weapon,
Oh, wow.
channeling the elemental might of your Draggle ancestors to turn the tide of battle.
Okay, hold on. You can have dragon-like abilities.
Yes.
Sign me up. What does that look like mechanically?
Yeah. Dragon blood characters gain a bonus to an ability score,
Yeah.
resistance to an element based on their dragon ancestors type, and even get a breath weapon they can use a limited number of times per day.
So it's like having a hidden weapon that can really surprise your enemies.
It can be devastating.
That's awesome. But what if you're going for a more subtle approach?
Okay.
Say our listener wants their ranger to be adept at infiltration and blending in.
Then you've got options like Changeling or Nephilim heritages.
Okay.
Changelings can alter their appearance, becoming masters of disguise and deception. Imagine infiltrating an enemy camp, using your Changeling abilities to gather information or sabotage their plans, all while appearing as one of them.
So think spy thriller meets fantasy adventure.
Exactly.
I like it.
Yeah.
What about Nephilim? They sound intriguing.
Nephilim inherit the power of outsiders,
Okay.
granting them unique abilities that can enhance a ranger's skill set. You might choose to have wings, granting your ranger unparalleled mobility in their favored terrain,
Right.
or perhaps enhanced senses that make tracking prey child's play.
So many cool options. You've got my brain buzzing with character concepts.
I can imagine.
Let's move on to backgrounds,
Okay.
which I think of as the story part of character creation.
The role-playing part.
How can our listener use backgrounds to flesh out their ranger?
Backgrounds add depth to your character's backstory and provide them with additional skills and abilities.
Right.
For example, a criminal background could suggest a past as a poacher forced into a life of crime. But now they use those skills to protect the wilds. It's a classic redemption arc.
So you're telling me a ranger could have a shady past,
Oh, yeah.
but ultimately use their experiences for good.
They could.
That's an interesting twist on the traditional hero archetype.
For sure.
And mechanically, that criminal background could give your ranger proficiency in skills like stealth and thievery, which are invaluable for both combat and exploration. Or you could go with a scout background,
Sure.
suggesting years spent navigating dangerous territories, honing instincts, and becoming a master of your surroundings. So a scout background would be more in line with a seasoned explorer type, someone who knows the wilderness like the back of their hand.
Exactly. It could provide you with survival and nature skills, making you a valuable asset to any party venturing into the unknown.
Okay, we've covered ancestry and background.
It's a foundation.
Giving our listener a solid foundation for their ranger.
Yeah.
Now let's delve into something I'm always curious about.
Oh.
Spells.
Okay.
Do rangers have access to the same vast spell lists as wizards?
While rangers don't have the sheer volume of spells that wizards do, their spell list is carefully curated to enhance their other abilities and complement their role as masters of the wild. You'll find spells focused on healing, controlling animals, and even shaping the terrain itself.
So think less about blasting foes with fireballs.
Yeah, less of that.
And more about strategically using spells to control the battlefield and support your allies.
Exactly. Imagine summoning a pack of wolves to flank your enemies.
Ooh.
Or using a spell to create difficult terrain, hindering their movement and giving you and your animal companion the upper hand. You might even heal yourself and your allies with natural remedies.
Right.
Embodying the ranger's connection to the natural world.
Now, are there any specific spells or feats that our listeners should keep in mind? Ones that really exemplify the ranger's unique style?
One feat that can be a real game changer is Warden's Boon.
Okay.
It allows you to share your hunt prey benefits with your allies,
What?
Making your entire party more effective against your chosen target.
Wait, so you're telling me I can turn my entire party into expert monster hunters?
You can.
Sharing that tactical advantage?
Exactly.
That's incredible.
It makes the ranger a force multiplier, a vital asset to any party facing a specific threat. It's all about strategy and leveraging your knowledge of your prey to help your team succeed.
All right, we've laid the groundwork.
Yeah.
Going through ancestry, backgrounds,
Yep.
even dipping into spells and feats.
A bit of everything.
But how do you actually play a ranger? What's their role in the party, and how do they contribute in different situations?
That's where we really get to see the ranger shine. Let's explore that in more detail after a short break.
Sounds good.
Let's take a minute.
All right, we'll be right back. All right, we've spent some time building up this awesome ranger concept, but I'm ready for action. How do you take all these cool abilities and actually make the most of them in a fight?
That's where the tactical mind of a ranger really comes into play.
Okay.
First things first.
Yeah.
Remember your hunt-prey feature.
Uh-huh.
This is what sets you apart from other martial classes, before you even draw your weapon.
Right.
Spend an action to study your target, gaining valuable insight into their weaknesses.
So you're not just running into battle swinging your sword.
Yeah.
There's a level of strategy involved.
Exactly. It's about knowing your enemy and using that knowledge to your advantage. Those hunt-prey bonuses can make a huge difference, especially when you're facing a creature with high defenses or a lot of hit points. It can turn a near miss into a solid hit or allow you to drop an enemy before they can threaten your allies.
Okay, so hunt-prey is a must-use.
Definitely.
Got it. But we also talked about how adaptable rangers are to different environments.
Yeah.
How does that play out in combat? It's not like you can just pull up a forest in the middle of a dungeon, right?
Well, not exactly.
Right.
But this is where favored terrain comes in.
Okay.
Whether you're fighting in a dense forest, a murky swamp, or even a crowded city street, your connection to that environment gives you a tactical edge.
So walk me through it.
Yep.
Let's say our listener's ranger is fighting in their favorite terrain, a forest.
Right.
How do they use that to their advantage?
Think about the terrain itself as an extension of your arsenal. You know the best spots to take cover, how to use the undergrowth to your advantage, and even how to exploit natural hazards like uneven ground or thick vines to hinder your enemies. Maybe you climb a tree for a better vantage point, raining down arrows on your foes.
Oh, I like that.
Or you use the dense foliage to set an ambush, catching them off guard.
So it's almost like turning the battlefield itself into a weapon.
It is.
Using your knowledge of the terrain to control the flow of combat.
Precisely. And the benefits of favored terrain go beyond just tactical maneuvering.
Oh, really?
Depending on your chosen terrain, you might gain bonuses to stealth.
Okay.
Allowing you to move silently through the forest for enhanced movement speed, allowing you to quickly reposition yourself or chase down fleeing enemies.
It sounds like a ranger who knows their terrain inside and out can really dictate the pace of a fight.
Absolutely.
But they're not in this alone, are they?
Yeah.
They have their animal companion right there with them.
Right. And a well-trained animal companion can be a real game changer in a fight.
Yeah.
They can flank enemies, providing you with opportunities to exploit their weaknesses.
Right.
Or they can harry weaker opponents, keeping them from overwhelming your allies.
We talked before about those specializations.
Yeah.
Like savage and specialized. What would those look like in a combat situation?
Imagine this.
Okay.
You're facing a group of bandits in a forest clearing.
Okay, I'm picturing it.
Your wolf companion,
Yeah.
trained for savage combat,
Yeah.
becomes a whirlwind of teeth and claws, tearing through the enemy ranks with brutal efficiency.
Ooh, nasty.
Their attacks are more ferocious.
Right.
Their strikes more deadly, thanks to their specialized training.
Okay, that's a pretty vivid image. And what about a specialized animal companion?
Let's say you have a hawk companion with a specialization in distracting foes.
All right.
As the battle begins, your hawk swoops down from the sky,
Yeah.
harassing the enemy archers, forcing them to break formation or waste actions, defending themselves. This gives you the opportunity to move in and take them out, using your archery skills to pick them off one by one.
All right, so we've got hunt prey, favored terrain, and a powerful animal companion, all working together to create a formidable fighting force.
A lot of tools.
But we haven't talked much about spells yet.
True.
How does a ranger incorporate magic into their combat strategy?
Remember, rangers don't have the sheer spell volume of a wizard, but their spells are chosen to complement their martial abilities and wilderness expertise. They might use a spell to enhance their attacks, control the battlefield, or even hinder their enemies.
So it's less about big flashy spells and more about using magic strategically to gain an advantage.
Exactly. Instead of blasting your foes with a fireball, you might use a spell to entangle them with vines, slowing their advance and making them easy targets for your arrows.
Interesting.
Or you might use a healing spell to mend your wounds or those of your animal companion, keeping you both in the fight.
Are there any specific spells that really embody the ranger's fighting style? Spells our listeners should definitely check out.
And Snaring Strike is a great example. It's a melee attack spell that can entangle your opponent, hindering their movement and making them vulnerable to further attacks. You can use it to control the battlefield, isolate a dangerous enemy, or create an opening for a decisive blow.
So you're essentially using your spells to set up your attacks. Much like you would with your knowledge of your favored terrain. It's all about using your skills in conjunction with each other, right?
Absolutely. It's about synergy. Combining your spells, martial prowess, and wilderness expertise is what makes the ranger such a versatile and effective combatant.
Okay, this is giving me a whole new appreciation for the ranger class. It's more than just shooting arrows from the trees.
It's a lot more.
There's a depth of strategy and tactical thinking involved that I hadn't considered before.
It can be very rewarding.
And don't forget the most important thing. Have fun. There's nothing quite like bringing down a powerful foe with a well-placed arrow.
That's true.
Watching your animal companion tear through enemies.
It is exciting.
Or using your knowledge of the wilderness to outwit your opponents.
The ranger really lets you do it all.
So for our listener who's thinking about rolling up a ranger, what's the key takeaway when it comes to combat?
Remember, you're not just a damage dealer. You're a master tactician, a hunter, and a guardian of the wilds. Use your knowledge of your prey, your favored terrain, and your unique abilities to control the battlefield and emerge victorious.
I think we've covered a lot of ground here.
We have.
From character creation to spells and combat tactics.
Yeah.
But there's one more aspect of the ranger that we need to explore. Their skills and how they contribute to the party outside of combat.
That's a great point. Rangers are more than just fighters and spellcasters. They're also incredibly skilled in areas that are essential for exploration, survival, and even diplomacy. Let's dive into that next.
We've talked about how the ranger excels in combat, using their hunt prey, favored terrain, and even spell casting to become a truly formidable force. But there's more to this class than just fighting, right?
Absolutely.
You hinted at their skills being valuable outside of combat.
Rangers aren't just warriors. They're also incredibly skilled in areas like stealth, survival, and even diplomacy, especially when dealing with creatures of the wild. These skills make them invaluable for exploration, information gathering, and navigating the complexities of the natural world.
So are we talking about the classic ranger as the party's scout trope? Sneaking ahead, spotting traps, that sort of thing?
It's more than just a trope. It's a core strength of the class. Think about it. A ranger's knowledge of nature and their ability to blend seamlessly into their environment make them perfectly suited for scouting missions. They can move silently through the forest, track their prey with ease, and spot hidden dangers that others might miss.
This makes me think about those classic wilderness exploration scenarios where the party is venturing into uncharted territory.
Definitely.
The ranger would be essential in a situation like that, right?
Absolutely. They could navigate treacherous terrain, find safe paths, identify edible plants, and even predict weather patterns based on their deep understanding of the natural world.
Wow.
They'd be the party's guide, tracker, and survival expert all rolled into one.
And don't forget about their ability to communicate with animals. That always seems like such a cool aspect of the ranger class.
Right. That's not just a flavorful ability. It can be incredibly useful in a variety of situations. Imagine being able to gather information from animals, learning about the movements of your enemies, or even gaining the cooperation of a creature to help you overcome an obstacle.
So you're saying it's more than just commanding an animal companion.
It is.
It's about a deeper connection and understanding of the natural world. You can actually talk to the creatures around you and learn from them.
Precisely. A ranger's relationship with nature goes beyond simple mastery. It's about respect, understanding, and a willingness to learn from the creatures and environments they encounter.
This is what I find so compelling about the ranger class. It's not just about power or combat prowess.
Yeah.
It's about this connection to something larger than oneself.
Right.
It's about being a part of the natural world, not just dominating it.
Exactly. And that connection can be expressed in many ways,
Right.
whether it's through their fighting style, their choice of spells, or simply their interactions with the creatures and environments they encounter.
So for our listener who's now convinced that the Ranger is the class for them, what's the most important thing to remember?
Embrace the versatility of the class. Don't feel limited to a single archetype. Explore its different facets, experiment with different play styles, and create a character that truly embodies your vision of a master of the wilds.
And remember, it's not just about what you can do in a fight. It's about how you interact with the world around you.
Right.
Use your skills to explore, to learn,
and protect,
and to forge a bond with nature that will make you a true force to be reckoned with.
And most importantly, have fun. Whether you're tracking a monstrous foe through a dense forest, negotiating with the tribe of fey creatures, or simply enjoying the tranquility of nature, the Ranger class offers a wealth of possibilities for unforgettable adventures.
Hope you enjoyed this deep dive with us, and see you soon to talk about other classes.